It's Saturday, June 22nd, and this is day 2 of 10 Days of Zeros. I'm Doc Spice, and I'm going to talk your ear off for just a half a second. So, I had a couple people ask me a few questions. By far the biggest set of questions was from Robin, who hit up my guest book on trail journals. And she wanted to know the biggest differences between northbounding and southbounding for me. I think the biggest set of differences, honestly, was people. As a southbounder, there just aren't as many people. And after, September, you really don't see any more northbounders because they're all so far up, they got to get to Maine and be at Katahdin by October 15th because of the park closing. So September and October, November, you really don't see any other northbounders. And they're your big set of information for the other direction. So it gets a little lonely, especially if you don't have a hiking family. Hiking families are a big part of the trail, and as southbounders there just aren't as many people, which means you have much smaller hiking families, though you are much closer knit to them. So you don't have as many people. That's a big thing. The first shelter I got to in my northbound this year had probably more people in it than I saw through hikers in the last 2 months. So it's very different in terms of that. You're much more alone. It gives you a lot more time to think. I definitely spent a lot of time talking to trees, rocks, roots, the trail itself, yelling at mountains the last month or so of my through hike. So it's just different. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just different. What else? Food. As southbounders, we start very early with a lot of food, and our stops are a lot more spread out in the first 300, 400 miles. So we carry a lot more food, and it follows us as we hike some more. Northbounders, pull into town 3-4 days and resupply, so they carry very small food loads, especially at the start. As southbounders, you're carrying a lot more food. 100-mile wilderness, you're starting and you have no idea how fast you're going to hike. They tell you to take 10 days of food, so you carry 10 days of food, and that's a lot of food. That's a lot of weight. And in the back of your mind, that's still something you have to do. And Maine's very tough, very rugged, especially when you're starting. Your pack is too heavy. No matter what you do, your pack is going to be too heavy. So you're going slower. You don't have as much of a base to it. So you're going slower. You're carrying more food. The stops are more spread out. And for me personally, I carried that with me after that. I would not go into town very often. And I didn't stay in a lot of towns because there wasn't a party atmosphere like there is northbounding. Northbounders seem to get stuck and vortex a lot easier because there's more of them. They want to party together, they want to have a good time. For southbounders, you don't really know as many people. The people that are there are the northbounders. They're not going to accept you into the crowd. It's just a little different, so you stay out of that until you get your own hiking family. So it's just a little different. The party atmosphere is a very different thing. For me, at least personally, I didn't have a lot of other hikers with me for the first 100, 200, 300 miles. I didn't really get to know my hiking family until Lincoln, New Hampshire. I hiked with them for a while. It was just very different not having it. Northbounding, you get a lot more people again, and you fall into a group a lot easier. Let's see, what are some of the other big ones? Gear is another big thing. Northbounders have a lot more opportunity to replace gear, get lighter gear. It's easier for them to exchange things. Not so much for southbounders. You have very limited selection at the start. It's not geared for wholesale replacement. The outfitter that you can get to in Monson is not a very good outfitter. It's got a very limited selection, so you're very limited in terms of that. It's a great outfitter. It just doesn't have any selection. You've got to drive 30 minutes, 20 minutes to get there, so it's just different. But yeah, it's just different. So spent most of my time eating today. The Germans are in DC again. Actually, Dreamcatcher is getting pants. She wanted to wear new pants for her flight home, so I dropped them off at a mall. Buckeye and Turbo and ET are supposedly in town. They might stop by a little later on this evening. Hopefully we'll get to see them. It'll be fun. Actually, I kind of hoped that they would have been here earlier. I would have forced them to do a blog entry with me. So thank you very much, Robin. You also asked about if I would do other trails in the future, and yeah, I'd like to. I really want to get the PCT done the next year or two. And after that, I'd love to do the CDT, but honestly, the CDT scares me half to death. Just not having as much water, bushwhacking the whole way, really having to rely upon your wits, map and compass, or GPS. It does sound beautiful, it does sound amazing, it just sounds scary. And having talked to more than a few Triple Crowners, actually they said going southbound was a good preparation for the CDT because you're just not going to see as many people. So I do want to do that, though. I do want a Triple Crown. So who knows? Who knows what's in the future? I have this hike to do first, and then we'll see. Who knows? As for other things are going on. I don't know. I have a dentist appointment coming up this week. My mother scheduled me a dentist appointment during my 0 days. I love her. I really don't like the dentist. So I'm going to go. I'm going to let you all have a great day, and enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you all later. Have a great one.